Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir, welcome to my home studio. Today we are talking about reamping, why and how. And to make that reamping happening, we are using the Omec Teleport by Orange Amplifiers. First of all, please excuse the dramatic lighting. I have trouble positioning lights because there's a wall right over here and I only managed to squeeze one of the lights here and none on this side, so you'll see dramatic cut of my face like this. Really fun. And back to the actual content. If you're not familiar with the Omec Teleport, it's basically a pedal-sized pedal format audio interface, and it, well, teleports your signal from your guitar into your computer or mobile device. And just so that everyone is on the same page, reamping means we are recording the signal of the guitar on the computer, and then we are taking that signal and sending it to an amp in this case, and then the signal chain is kind of a regular kind of guitar recording signal chain. But basically we're capturing what's happening on the guitar and then we can send it to one or several amps if we want to. And right away you might ask, why would you do that instead of just recording the tracks? And the first thing is that when, example in my case, when I'm sitting here in my home studio and I'm playing the guitar, and I'm listening to the guitar through the monitors because I'm using the 2-Notes Torpedo Live as well. That was really professional. Basically what happens is that what I'm hearing from the monitors is the mixture of acoustic sound of this guitar and what is coming through the monitors. And basically I perceive that sound very differently than how it actually sounds when I don't play and I just listen back to my recording. And usually I end up going like back and forth many times where I play a track, then I listen to it, make adjustments on the amp, I think like where I think it should go sound wise, then I play it again, then I re-listen it, and sometimes I have to do it 10 times before I find the sound. When instead I could, for example, record the track once as a DI, send it to my amp, and then just listen to it, tweak how I want it to be, and then I can go and record all the sounds as you would normally do. So it basically kind of speeds up the sound finding process. That's one way to use it. DI tracks can also be extremely useful when you are, for example, mixing someone else's project. They can send you tracks with drums, bass, keyboards and stuff like that. And then they send you DI tracks of the guitar, and if you, for example, have a great amp that suits that song really well, you can then go and tweak the sound so that the guitar sounds match the rest of the band, and that usually just results in a better thing than you going for drastic EQs or anything like that, because at least I've personally done a few projects where we recorded the whole band, and only when I got home I realized that, damn it, like this guitar just doesn't work in any way with how the rest of the band sounds, and then I need to go for drastic EQs and compressors and what else to make it work, and even then it's only like 70% there where I wanted it to be. So DI tracks of guitars just give you more room to play with, basically. And I know especially metal guys like to do a lot of this, because in metal, as you probably know, you many times go for this huge sound where you want the bass and guitars kind of be one huge thing. And if you as a mixing guy can adjust those tones from the kind of roots, aka from the guitar sound itself, it just many times makes stuff easier. The third way I've used reamping, and this might be my favorite way, is to use it to collaborate with people all over the world. For example, for my Victory Sheriff 22 demo, I did a song for that demo, and my buddy Harry from Harry and a Guitar basically sent me a DI track of his guitar solo, and then I reamped that DI sound through the Victory Sheriff 22. Harry didn't have that amp, I did, so that way I could have Harry playing through the amp I was demoing, and that's just really cool and kind of opens up possibilities for all kind of collaborations, basically. So that's few reasons why you might want to reamp your guitar. There's probably some others that I'm forgetting right now. Please let me know down in the comments below what might be the other reasons why you want to reamp. But that's enough on the question why. Let's move on to the question how. To get started on the whole reamping thing, first of all, get your Omec Teleport. plug it in into a regular 9-volt power source, anything that powers your pedal board basically, and plug it into your computer using the included USB cable. No need to install any kind of drivers or anything like that. Then fire up your DAW of choice, and in my case the Omec Teleport shows as input number 15 on the Logic Pro, because I'm also using the Universal Audio Apollo Twin, and that brings a bunch of virtual inputs and such. So if you are only using the Omec Teleport without any other audio interface plugged into your computer, they will most likely show up as input number 1 and input number 2. Then grab a guitar and an instrument cable and plug in one end to your guitar and the other end into the input of the Omec Teleport. Simple as that. Now that we are plugged in, just let's make sure that we are getting signal. The Omec Teleport is designed to be used with the guitar, and it has kind of automatic input gain adjustment going on. So pretty much any kind of guitar you might be using, you shouldn't be getting a clipping signal. I talked to Danny Gomez from Orange / many other companies, basically the guy who designed this pedal. And yeah, he said that it's designed in such a way that pretty much all kinds of guitar pickups should be more than fine with this unit. In Logic, I usually turn software monitoring and low latency mode on as well, so I can both hear the guitar, and it also allows me to have low latency, basically like there isn't delay in what I'm playing and then what I'm hearing from the speakers. To make the tracking a little bit more fun, I'm arming one of the kind of effects slots, and I'm using just a built-in amplifier from Logic, and I'm going for a sound that's kind of close-ish to what I'm going for with the end result, just to make tracking more kind of realistic and fun, because especially if you're tracking, let's say, metal guitars, you probably won't be playing everything just with the DI sound. You want to use some sort of amp sim for the tracking part. And the cool thing is that by just clicking off, you'll go back to the kind of DI sound basically. So yeah, let's record something and we'll take a listen at it then. What you just heard was the Vox type amp, based on the picture at least, but let's take that out and listen just to the DI guitar sound itself. That's just a really healthy sounding DI signal. I mentioned this in my 5 ways to use the Omec Teleport video. It just records good sounding DI and makes it just really easy. So yeah, basically we have our DI track and we can actually put our guitar aside now. So the next thing we need to do to reamp is to take this DI track that we just listened to, and we are going to send that to a new track that we just create here. And it automatically armed it to input number 15, which is actually correct, because what we're going to do now is taking this DI track. By the way, let's arm this one. This is what we'll be recording. We don't need to monitor that track. And we'll select an output. I already know that out of all of the mono outputs, the output number 1 on the Omec Teleport is output 11 here in Logic, because the Apollo Twin takes the first 10 outputs. And now that the Logic itself is ready for the reamping, let's wire everything properly up and I'll explain you the signal chain. As I mentioned, the output number 1 on the Omec Teleport is output 11 in my system, so basically we are sending this DI track to the output 1, and from that output you can think of the signal chain as a normal signal chain you would have for your guitar setup. Basically, kind of your guitar sound is coming out of the output number 1, and what you do after that is exactly the same thing that you would do if you just plug the guitar into your first pedal or anything like that. So we are going from the Omec Teleport into the Rev G4 that I will be using as a boost and kind of EQ shaping thing, just to demonstrate how you would basically reamp. And from the Rev G4 we are going straight into the front end of my Rev Dynamis, which is set on the crunch channel, but it's on a super mild crunch basically. And from the speaker output of my Rev Dynamis we are going into the 2-Notes Torpedo Live, which is both a loud box and a speaker simulation. And from the line out of the Torpedo Live we are going into the input of the Omec Teleport, so we are going back to the computer through the teleport basically. If I wired everything correctly, basically this signal is being sent from my computer through the Omec Teleport into the Rev G4, Rev Dynamis, and from the Dynamis to the Torpedo Live, and from the line out of the Torpedo Live back to the Omec Teleport and into my computer. And when I hit play, I should be hearing this track played over here and through the amp basically. And as you can see, if I mute the output number 11, which is basically the output number 1 on the Omec Teleport, everything mutes because it's not sending a signal to the amp anymore. So normally what I would do in this situation is to loop this track as many times as I need, tweak the sounds on the pedal, on the amp, and when I'm happy with the sound, then I would arm this track to record and hit record. For the sake of demonstration and for you to be able to hear the difference the pedal makes in the sounds and things like that, I'm just going to hit record right away and you'll see and hear what I'm tweaking here right now. And there you go, now we can listen to this track over here and just make sure we like it. So there you have it, that's reamping in a nutshell, and I have to say Omec Teleport is probably the easiest way to reamp, or at least easiest way I have tried, because you don't have to worry about any kind of panning or even output volume, to be honest. It just seems to know exactly what it needs to do when you are sending that signal to the amp, and it just works really well. No need to install any kind of drivers, anything like that. No need to worry about panning. That's an issue with some audio interfaces because you are using only like a half of a stereo output and then you need to pan it correctly for the signal to be the correct strength and stuff like that. No, those kind of things with the Omec Teleport. Plus, I think it's under 100 euros or so. So it's just a cheap and great way to get into recording guitar, reamping and stuff like that. And there's many other ways you can use it as well. Just a really great tool for not a lot of money. So there you have it, that's my tutorial on why you would reamp and how to do it using the Omec Teleport. Thanks for the video idea goes to Mr. Daniel Gomez of Orange Amplifiers. This is a request by him and I'm happy to do it. I hope many of you guys find this helpful and perhaps this helps you to understand the whole concept of reamping basically. If you have any questions about this, please let me know down below in the comments. If you found this video helpful, useful, entertaining, anything like that, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below about anything basically. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. It, I guess, works at least part of the time. If you want to support what I do, get yourself a CatPick Studios t-shirt, links below in the description as well. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, I shall see you next time!